Hey, yo, it's Mighty Mike, and it's another Freaky Friday. Doing it up live. Yeah, doing it live and worldwide, baby. This one's going out to JW. We're doing the December issue of Circus magazine. And this is the one where Poison had Every Rose Has Its Thorn hit number 1. So it was December 1989. Poison's Every Rose Has Its Thorn went number 1. And the issue we're going to do today is that exact December 1989. So with no further ado, welcome to Mighty Mike's Freaky Friday. And doing that Guitar Magazine review, still pulling them out of the pile there. And glad we got them. All right. So I'm going to continue on here. And let's see. All right. And on the we're going to have that Ace playlist going on in the background for you, so we can kind of get the best of both worlds. Got anything to say? You want to chime in? Just go ahead and let it rip, because that's what we're doing here. And since it's Freaky Friday, if you got one, raise them high and let's salute, baby, because it's Freaky Friday. Woo! There you go, a little Bon Jovi in the background, Runaway, rocking the scene, if you know what I mean. But let's get to JW's issue here. Oh, yeah. We got a Squier guitar on this one. And hot pink. What else would we want for 1989, right? Get ready for a new classic. Team of international designers, musicians, and craftsmen comes Squiers, a quality line of guitars, basses, amplifiers for everyone. So compare sound, compare fit, finish, compare prices. Discover Squier means unbeatable value. Introducing the new legend. See that Floyd Rose right on there, looking hot as anything. What you got there? A volume, 2 tones, and a 5-blade switch. A humbucker, 2 single coils. What else did you want for 1989? Perfect, right? Looks about perfect for me. All right, let's get into it. Cassettes. We're talking cassettes here. TDK. Of course, 1989. So you had cassettes, and then you guys skateboarding there with a boombox. I'm going to skip that. And there it is. We were talking Poison earlier there. The 1989 edition here, December 1989, where they hit number 1 with Every Rose Has Its Thorn. And, of course, Open Up and Say Ah is all over this magazine. You got a little ultrasonic pickups here. I don't quite remember these guys. They probably didn't last too long. Produced in North America, though. I really don't remember these guys at all. All going to have to look into that later. It's pretty intriguing. But anyways, we're going to keep it rolling here. And as with any of these magazines from back in the day, you got the cassette ads from Columbia House. They're always there, right? A little poison in the background while we scan through these pages. But anyways, yeah, going back to these Columbia House ads, you could get suckered in so easy for this and be tied into that for years and be paying these guys. I'm glad I never touched it. What do we got going on here? Billy Sheehan. Wow, yeah. Touch base with Roto Sound. So he's using Roto Sound strings on that. Incredible basis. And go right up here. Best-selling albums. Here we go. 1989 you're talking. So you got Guns N' Roses. You got Bon Jovi. Let's see. You got Poison. Of course, U2. Traveling Wilburys. Def Leppard. Bobby Brown, REM, Pink Floyd. You got Journey in there. The greatest hits hit number 11. Journey, of course, one of the greats. Edie Brickell and New Bohemians. You got Rat, the Reach for the Sky album. That hit 14. I thought it was a decent album, actually. A lot of people disagree, but if you reach back into that one and pull it out and take a good listen to it, I think you might really like it. You got Kiss, Smash, Trashers, and Hits. Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. And then, of course, Metallica's And Justice for All. Definitely remember going to that concert locally up here, and it was amazing. You got Winger, Cinderella, and Dokken coming in at 20. Beast from the East. Love that cassette. Still have it on cassette. I have a lot of these guys on cassette, and they all work great. And they do sound good coming through the RCA system. So everything's RCA out there, and I can go ahead and plug in all those cassettes from back in the day. Here you go. Moving on to the pages here. Serial Killer RG550. Ibanez, he's got up there in the sink. Oh, Gilbert. He's getting his Wheaties on. I got plenty of Ibanez's. I live by them. They are great. Let's see, what else we got here? Def Leppard and GHS Boomers, and that's exactly what I play also. I've been playing them since the mid-'80s and haven't switched. You know, there's no reason to switch if they're working fine, and had no reason to, so no reason to switch. Kept them. Will always play them. They sound great. I still have the insert here, believe it or not. So if you want to go ahead and order some more Circus magazines. Here we go. What do you say? We be rocking on a Freaky Friday. Let's get it, get it, get it. Hey, look. We got a word find going on here. I actually did it. I don't know why. Did I actually do that? I must have did that. Somebody did. That's not a word. Anyways, moving on here. You got Nico from Iron Maiden. And he's promoting that Ludwig. How could you disagree? Great drums. Well, the Queensryche going on. Jeff Tate. Probably the best mullet of all time from the 80s. If you're going to be rocking hard like that. Wearing his Gold's Gym California tee. All right. Yeah, right here it goes to say Queensrÿche pursue their big break without compromises, and they really kind of did. They never really switched the music that they played, due to that era. They went on with what they felt, and it worked for them. It really did. I was a big fan. I mean, you can like a lot of music, especially back then. There's definitely a lot of different genres at that time of metal, including, if you had consider it hair metal, hard rock, any of that stuff. It all kind of came together, and you could like a lot of it. Queensrÿche did their own thing here, and they sounded really good. They had their own take on things, and it worked for them. So, out of Long Beach, California. There we go. Christy Garmo, one of the greats. Scott Rockenfield, Michael Wilton, and Eddie Jackson. Jeff Tate, of course. Queensrÿche, really great. What can you say? I love this stuff inside here because I used to look at all this stuff being a gearhead, playing guitar. EMG pickups, what more can you say? They were the kings of the litter back then as far as pickups go for guitars, and a lot of players had them, a lot of players used them, and it was good stuff. I like looking at all this stuff too, because in every magazine you had a bunch of these different varieties, of course, but learn the art of recording. I mean, this stuff was all hot at the time. I mean, if you were in any of this stuff at that point, had some sort of background, you'd be doing good. A little Warrant. Get that cherry pie. A little Bobby Brown there for you. All right, going back to the mag. Let's see what we got here. A little Fire and Steel Carvin. They were really ripping it up back then with those guitars, though. Strat, Stars. Is that Jason Becker? Wow, yeah. Before he couldn't play anymore. Wow. Good stuff. Fender's lace sensor pickups. There, on every other page, there was an ad for pickups, guitars, amps. That stuff was all over the place. Picks, let's see, strings, anything associated with rock and roll. It was in these mags because I knew the people that read them were using this stuff. So why not? Just go for it, right? Yeah, baby. All right. A little more video for you. Yeah. What else we got going on? Skid Row on this page. Skid Row on tour with Bon Jovi now. Skid Row rock and roll. Just got a little bit dirtier. What can you say? If you had that first album, there's not much to say. That kind of said it all. Great hits on that one. That one's for sure. Youth Gone Wild, Big Guns, I Remember You, of course. Big Guns is a great song. Of course, you had the power ballad, I Remember You, all over the place. So, let's see what else we got here. Music videos of the time. Okay, you're talking December 1989, and this was what was out. Comedy hits, A Fish Called Wanda, Bull Durham. I remember that. Really don't remember Fish Called Wanda. I remember the title, never watched it, never had an urge to watch it. They did a remake of The Blob, and I remember seeing that. I actually rented that back in the 80s. It was pretty cool, actually. And since we're already on the subject, Decline of the Western Civilization Part 2, The Metal Years. You have to see it. It's on YouTube, the full movie. If you haven't seen it, and if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend checking that out right after this video because it's the full movie, and I do believe they still have it on YouTube for free. It totally brings in the whole scene from back in the day, and then I mean, you can take it all in. You can see it from start to finish, what happened on the Sunset Strip. And actually being there myself, taking a trip down there, it was amazing just to see a lot of those places that were in the movie. I actually had a chance to go in there and talk to a bunch of people at these clubs and discuss a lot of the bands that were in there. And the time I was out there on vacation, I mean, I'll never forget because it was pretty amazing. That's for sure. So if you get a chance, I do recommend checking out that video on YouTube. I think it's still the entire movie for free. And they go on here. Let's see. Midnight Run, Spike. I don't remember that one. Willow, I do remember that. Yes, I do remember that. Let's see. Movie videos. Yeah, of course, we all had to rent the VHS cassettes at the time. Still can't believe I have these magazines in this condition where I could actually flip through them from 1988, 1989. What else you got going? Oh, look out, Slaughter. Slaughter coming at you live and worldwide. Who do you got here? Doug Marks and his Metal Method. I'm so sure you'll be a guitarist in 12 weeks that I'll bet my guitar on it. I don't know about all that because I would take that guitar without a doubt. It looks like it's a carving neck through, and I would definitely be having my way with that guitar. So, anyways, a lot of people did buy this video. I haven't actually seen it yet. After all of these years, I'm going to have to find a source and check it out. The original Doug Marks Metal Method and see what it's all about. I was one of those that kind of learned by ear, so I never got into it. I kind of just plugged in, played, and let it rip. And always thought that was the best. And here we go. Guns N' Roses controversy rages on. We heard We've All Died in Car Crashes. Let's see, Slash on such sensationalization press coverage. Well, what can you say? At the time, they were probably really out there and doing their thing and, you know, blowing up the spot. So just of course the media is going to talk about them. Of course the media is going to pump them up, negative or positive. Like they say, any coverage is good coverage when it comes to rock and roll. So there you go. Moving on to the next page, we got Cinderella, No Bad Boy Attitudes or Outrage. they were kind of the goody two-shoes, I guess you'd say, of that scene. You didn't hear too much about anybody getting out of control, being in the news, that sort of thing. Tom Kiefer kind of had that all under control over there from what I could see. And if you ever watch Headbangers Ball, that sort of thing, you never seen any one of those guys really get out of control at any point in any interview, that sort of thing. So they knew how to rock, that's for sure, but they also knew how to keep things in control. Meet the new crew, same as the old crew. A little play there on the Who. Natural adrenaline, the real thing. Anything that gets us off, we do. Nikki Sixx on Motley's crazed but clean lifestyle. And this was all after they had issues with, of course, drugs and alcohol. So they all went into rehab before when they came out with the Wild Side album. They all went to rehab. And they played it straight through that whole album, I believe, from what I could tell and information that I got. And from everything that it shows on the Dirt movie there. Right here it says, what's this say here? Vince Neil recently shot a cameo role for Police Academy 6 alongside actor Bubba Smith. So there you go. 1989 Police Academy. Remember all that? But yeah, Wild Side, man. Great album, great stuff. They were getting it together, back on track. Let's see. Off tour, Tommy Lee enjoys, it says, serious relaxation like dirt bike riding with wife Heather Locklear and auto racing and all-star benefit races. All right. Let's see what we got coming up next here in the video for the next page. A little Vixen from back in the day. A good song was on MTV, Headbangers Ball. Quite the bit. Edge of a Broken Heart. Let's see what else we got going on here. A big comeback for the blues rock and the roots of metal. Tesla's hot, but Aerosmith and AC/DC are still the masters. Yeah, Tesla was definitely on the scene back then. I know they were touring in support of a lot of bands, and I think it was Def Leppard at the time. And also, most recently, about a year ago or two ago, it was the same situation. They, again, were out on tour, and they were Def Leppard. It was definitely a great show. It says right here, Tesla made a splash in 86 and 87 with their solid debut album, Mechanical Renaissance. That was a great album, actually. High-energy blues sound and rigorous touring with management mates Def Leppard resulted in nearly platinum LP. Now they've got back with the Great Radio Controversy, that another great album, actually, and have already secured a prime touring spot opening for Poison. This may be the year for Jeff Keith and the band become a household word. And they pretty much did after that. After that, they were able to get things going on their own. But if you're touring with Def Leppard and Poison, how could you go wrong? Even now, these guys still all tour together. So And we're going to see what comes up for the next upcoming year here once everything blows over. What else do you got going on here? Robert Plant in this issue. Still in the scene, 1989. Let's see, Robert Plant. Fared somewhat better in the comeback department than his Led Zeppelin guitar pal, Jimmy Page. Let's see. Heavy MTV and radio play sent his Now and Zen album well on the way to double platinum, and his arena tour with openers as diverse as Joan Jett and King's X was a consistent top seller. Didn't catch that one actually myself on tour. The vocalist recently came off the road and is back in his native England working on his next album. That would have probably been something I would have wanted to see, because you're probably never going to see him in that type of genre again. He does a lot of obscure stuff now, but just doing that full-fledged rock thing is not something we're going to see probably. Hate to say it. Also got some Steven Tyler going on. Who else do we have here? White Snake. Great White. Looks like LA Guns in the corner there. All right. And of course, some more Poison. And it goes on to say here, as we were talking earlier, Poison hits #1 with Every Rose Has a Thorn. And looks like you got Bret Michaels talking here. Says, I was disgusted, now I'm amused. Bret Michaels on Poison's many critics. There we go. We were just talking about Tesla. And a little vid going on here. And, they did have a lot of critics back in the day. But the point is, they could actually play all their instruments. They sounded great live. I've seen them countless times. And every time I've seen them, it was just a great rock and roll show. And if you just take it as that and nothing more, that's what you're going to get. It was a great rock and roll show. Let's see here. Brittany Fox, Bust Loose on tour with the Rats. Actually, Brittany Fox was a great band. They did have a lot of great riffs, a lot of great songs. I admit I sound a lot like Paul Stanley, and I don't care. Dizzy Dean Davidson, his comments on what his critics said. No, they had a lot of good songs. They really did. Let's see. Glam shock rock continue to outrage. Who else? Who do we got here? Faster Pussycat. King Diamond. Uphold the tradition. We got Alice. Faster Pussycat. King Diamond. I mean, really, if you had MTV back in the day and you watched Headbangers Ball, you'd get the gist of everything that was kind of going on, because there was no internet. So you got the magazines, you watched Headbangers Ball, you went to your local music store, you got the skinny from everybody else as to what was going on, and you kind of made your decisions from there. Were you going to grab this album this weekend, or were you going to grab that album? Is it time for you to trade in that guitar and get something else? Maybe. It was all kind of word of mouth type of thing. That's kind of how it went with no internet. Let's see. We were just watching Vixen. Here we go. Vixen, the return of the girl rock group. Janet Gardner, this is such a nutty business. Yeah. Yeah, say the least. Let's see. Women in rock accepted as musicians at last. If at any time in rock and roll, the 80s definitely were the time for that to have had happened. Joan Jett, without a word, without a doubt. You know, you got Lita Ford and Janet Gardner, Doro from Warlock. Yeah. Women did rock. Come on now. And still have the full pull out. I'm going to save this. This might be worth something here. Brett Michaels, he's playing a Yamaha. Definitely a shredder. I don't know exactly what it is. It's on an Ibanez type of styling going on here. Floyd Rose, humbucker, 2 single coils. But it's definitely a Yamaha because you could definitely see the make of that at the top. But there's no need for Brett Michaels, the lead singer of Poison, to be playing something like that. It's got 2 cutaways in the top. It looks like it's some sort of custom of some sort. But maybe he was into it. Somebody led him into that and led him to believe that that was the way to go. But I could see that for like Cece. You know, that would be obvious. But to go all in like that, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows the reason why? We weren't there. We don't know. We can only guess. And that's what makes it so intriguing. Yeah. Here we go. We're moving on. Head back to our mag here. We're heading back to the mag. Def Leppard returned to recording. I guess is as good as ours as what this new album's going to be like. I gotta say, they always kind of did change things up and had their own style. I mean, what could you say? It always sounded great. Seen them plenty of times live. Basically, anytime that Poison was on tour, they were around the same time, so you always kind of caught it that same summer. So Hysteria, of course, played a part in that. Both Joe Elliott and Rick Savage admit part of Leppard's recording problems are due to overly perfectionist attitudes, and Joe Elliott was definitely a perfectionist from everything that I heard. So, I mean, hey, you're putting an album out there for the world to hear. You want it to sound great, so I can hear that. You know, I understand that. It says right here, hopefully we'd be in a similar situation to the Rolling Stones, The Who, The Beatles at the legendary stage. Rick Allen on their next album. So he's putting that in perspective, you know, coming down the line in the end. This was obviously taken in '89, so you had Steve Clark in the band at that time. And this one was this picture was actually from June 28th of 1987. Moving on. All right. Richie Sambora with his Kramer 3 humbucker guitar, Floyd Rose gold, and on the inlays it says King of Swing. You can still see those guitars for sale on the Kramer website, and the dealers that sell Kramer, his Kramer style guitar. Bon Jovi back home again, tearing up the streets. I've seen a lot of bands that year on tour. Most of them, everybody we already talked about, literally. In Bon Jovi that same year also. Really great stuff. Let's see here. Record-breaking phenomenon Parasite. What else do we got going on here? Says it's unfortunate that my guys still suffer anonymity. They're as important as I am, John says. I don't really think so. At that point, everybody knew who those guys were, you know? Everybody knew who Richie was. It's definitely not a Slippery Part 2, Richie Sambora, New Jersey. Yeah. John definitely had the limelight, but all those guys were pretty well known. You got White Lion selling records without selling out. Vito Bratta, one of the greats from back then for sure. Mike Tramp. If I was in it for the money, I would have stayed in college. Vito Bratta. Rat, the sky's the limit. Referring to the album of that year. He's saying here, this was more of a group effort than ever before, Stephen Piercy. He was known to do a lot of his stuff on his own, send the cassettes back and forth to Warren DeMartini, that sort of thing, come in, record on his own. And I think a lot of that happened on, especially on this one. He's saying this was more of a group effort, but there was a lot to say other than that from the Reach for the Sky album. But who knows? Again, we weren't there, so it is what it is. Ozzy Osbourne, a rock legend, grows up. It says right here, Ozzy Osbourne seems to be finally making peace between his stage and private personas, probably from all the craziness from back in the day. This is when he started hooking up with Zach, so. Let's see what else we got. Judas Priest, Scorps, still. The genres live standard. Judas Priest. Where are the superstars? Oh, they were everywhere. Let's see. Guitar Heroes, a rock tradition lives on. Yep, and of course you got Eddie right there. Satch, Ace, Jimmy Page. Progressive metal, a new willingness to experiment. Of course, Rush would be that. A little Rat for you. A little Rat and roll. Let's see what else we got here. Ex-White Snake, John Sykes forms Blue Murder. I remember when that came out. That was all over MTV for a while, too. You got George Lynch, CC, and Richie Sambora. And let's see. All right, some tablature and stuff. How to play a few songs. Let's see. How to buy your first serious electric guitar. uh, the Sears Beginner at $89.95. I don't know about all that. Yeah. I always suggest going to your local music store, not one of the big box ones, but your local one. Talk to somebody if you haven't, and if you're looking to get into it, and see what they have. There could be something great used sitting up there, and you just get it in your hands, and it just feels right. And that's how it works. So, Buyer's Guide to Electric Guitars, Epiphone Standard. Phones are great guitars. PRS Classic. There you go. Way back in '89, still rocking the scene. Wow, look at that. The page is folded over for some reason. What was I interested in there? There was definitely something going on there that I had that. Damn. That's pretty interesting. More of the rockabilia. Get all your tees from back in the day, your rock posters. Some more memorabilia, necklaces, chains, patches. And that'll pretty much do it, guys. In the back here, we got Charvel. Let's end it with something good there. A nice pick of a Charvel headstock, the original. More great stuff. With the Floyd Rose, of course. All right, guys. Thanks for rocking with me. And we'll go ahead and do this again soon. Everybody stay safe. And Muddy Mike out.